Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Murphy Booth. Martino Puccio, Matt Lascella alongside with you. Second segment of the day, Carmelo Anthony, star of the New York Knicks. That sigh right there pretty much sums up Carmelo's career as a New York Knick.
I think it sums up my feeling with other Knicks fans' feelings towards Carmelo. I like Carmelo. Carmelo has been.
You do. Okay.
Carmelo has been came to this team.
Mm-hmm.
He's known as a score-first forward.
Mm-hmm.
Good rebounder. He's a good, strong forward. Can get to the line. Good free throw shooter. Not a terrible defender, but wasn't known to play defense.
Doesn't have a great motor.
Not a James Harden defender.
No.
But he
was
was an average defender. He could block a shot here and there, whatnot. Okay.
Yeah.
He has completely revitalized his game. He's sharing the ball more. He's sharing the ball more when the criticism in New York was, hey, we don't score the ball. Okay, so Melo was scoring, but we weren't scoring enough, so okay, let me pass the ball now. Now Melo's passing the ball. Hey, we're not winning games, and Melo's being unselfish. Okay, so then he goes out and drops 40. Hey, we're not winning games. Then he has back-to-back 8-assist games. And it's never good enough for anybody in New York, whether it's Phil, whether it's Knicks fans, whether it's non-Knicks fans. Nothing that Melo does is good enough. And I think it's about time that the old perception of Melo changes, because he's not the same player that he was. I don't know about personal. I'm not, don't know him on a personal basis, but he's not the same player that he was. And the way that he's getting almost kicked out of New York, for multiple reasons. One, Phil and him are butting heads, and two, the media is really pushing this whole trade Melo thing because it's not clickbait, but hey, it's a story. You hear Melo, you hear the Knicks, Clippers, Cavs, all that stuff. People want to read it. Melo does not deserve to be treated this way after everything. Yeah, he took the big money to stay in New York, but he's always been team first. Always. And he vowed that he wanted to win in New York. He wanted to stay in New York. And he's been loyal to the fans here. And he's been a good teammate. And he's taken Kristaps under his wing as well. And he does not deserve anything that he's receiving from whether it be Phil Jackson, whether it be Knicks fans, whether it be New York media, whatever it is. He doesn't deserve any of it.
To say he doesn't deserve any of it is a bit of a stretch, that's for sure.
He's been a team-first guy.
It doesn't matter if he's been team first. He stayed here, he took the money. There's countless plays I could tell you while watching him when things don't go his way, and there's the one specific play when there's Jeff Hornacek trying to tell Melo and the rest of the Knicks to do something,
and
all of a sudden
he
waves him off and chucks up a three, and Hornacek turns around like, what the heck is going on?
Because when he gives the ball to anybody else, nothing gets done either.
What do you mean nothing's good? He's got Kristaps on his team as well, so he's got a talented guy there.
Kristaps' his growth has been stunted to begin with this year because of how bad the Knicks have been.
But also that has to do with Carmelo. It starts with your best player, too. Phil Jackson's a whole nother scenario, okay? What has it been? It's fourth year now, and what has he done? Maybe the best thing he's done for this team is draft Porzingis, and that's about it. There's really not been anything else that you could really point to and be like, hey, this guy has been worth $15 million a year. Because he hasn't. But that's besides the point. He was the one who allowed Carmelo Anthony to get this no-trade clause. If Carmelo Anthony really wanted to win that bad, I'm sorry, then he would have went to the Chicago Bulls.
But that's aside. It's the fact that he did choose to come back to New York.
He chose the money.
Okay, he chose the money. He did choose the money.
Yeah.
But he changed his attitude completely once he got it. He has been team first 100%.
Shut up.
You look at the end of a game. Melo dishes up a ball to whoever else to take a shot. Courtney Lee doesn't even take the shot.
He missed the ball once. What happened to that one play with Porzingis when he was down in the post and he didn't even look to pass it to them and they lost it, in overtime?
And what happens when he does give it up? Courtney Lee just hangs on to the ball. That's a perfect example.
Okay, it's about making the right play, though, and he's not always known to be making the right play. How much has Carmelo actually won in New York? He won one playoff round. We've been over this multiple times, right? And you look at it, and he gets revered as this superstar in this league, right? And anyone with a brain knows this guy is not a superstar, okay? A superstar is a term you should only use for players like Harden, LeBron, and Russ, and KD. And I'll give you Curry if you really want to give him that, okay?
Yeah, that's
the five guys. Carmelo has never been in that, and you see it because
terms are thrown around too loosely.
Because there's media guys just like Stephen A. Smith who freak out when a guy like Max Kellerman says, hey, Blake Griffin, I take him any day over Carmelo. Now we're almost by the All-Star break. Who are you taking over Carmelo? You're taking a bunch of guys over Carmelo. You're taking a few guys in that division alone over Carmelo, right? Would you take Isaiah Thomas over Carmelo right now?
Well, I mean, real positions, but yeah.
But no.
Yeah.
Real question. A player. If you need a player, okay. DeRozan.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kyle Lowry?
No.
You're not taking Kyle Lowry.
No, I'm keeping Carmelo over Lowry.
But the fact that you had to think about it.
You're not digging me that far
But
in.
the fact that you have to think about it says something, no?
I suppose.
Okay, so this is a guy who's getting paid what? His contract was just a little under $130 million, right? He's got, what, another 3 years left on his deal. He's 33 years old. He's going to be 33 in May, okay? He hasn't won many playoff series, and he's got no trade clause, and he's only willing to go to 2 teams, a third team, the Celtics also, that they've been saying, but they've openly have said that they don't want him on
Rightfully
their team.
so, because it doesn't fit for either team. Doesn't make sense for either team.
A guy who doesn't play great defense.
Doesn't make sense.
He's really not a great facilitator and a pass over the ball. Okay, it's just gonna make
If we're talking real fit, it's LA.
Of course,
it's the Clippers. And this is coming from a diehard Knicks fan. It is absolutely blasphemous that you would offer Carmelo Anthony for Kevin Love 1-on-1. Not that Kevin Love is
that was disrespectful.
Not that Kevin, and I think it's disrespectful to both players. And here's why. Not because Kevin Love is light years ahead of Carmelo talent-wise, because he's not. I mean, he's good. He's a stretch four that rebounds. Yeah,
he's
but
21-10 playing with Kyrie and LeBron. That's incredible.
Of course, but he's not light years ahead of him as a player. It's not like the Knicks trade for Love and the Knicks make the playoffs all of a sudden.
No,
it's not like that, and it's also not like the Cavs get Melo instead of Love, and now they go to down the drain. It's not like that either.
I think they're worse if they get Carmelo.
Oh, they're definitely worse if they get Carmelo, but they still win the division. They still win the East.
LeBron wins the East. He won the East with Boobie Gibson and Zydrunas Ilgauskas.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter who
superhuman
he has.
LeBron.
Yeah, exactly. But that's the point, though. Carmelo, look, he is what he is. He's just going to be known as a great scorer, and that's it. And there's nothing else. He's not going to win anything unless he really sacrifices it. And to be honest with you, even if he goes to the LA
Clippers, the league is coming in order to win a ring now, you have to have three.
That's a whole other
quote-unquote superstars.
That's a whole other problem, and that's because of his buddy. His buddy started all this.
His buddy did start this in the whole banana boat nonsense.
He did. They did that.
Ever since that banana boat.
But even then if he goes to the Clippers, they still won't win it either. Because they have to give up role players to get Carmelo. You think Austin Rivers is a good enough return for Carmelo? Of course not. And I know I'm saying that Carmelo isn't that much. You can't get that much back from him considering his age, his injury history, and how much money he's going to cost over the next few years.
There really right now has not been an offer on the table that makes any logical sense. Okay, Jamal Crawford has been in the league for 300 years. Good sixth man. And he'd love to come back to the Knicks. JJ Redick, his scoring numbers have increased every single year since he came into the league. Gonna be a free agent
next year.
Incredible. Austin Rivers, okay, we've seen he's a solid backup guard. But for that's disrespectful to Melo to trade 2 of those 3 for Melo. Doesn't really make sense. In the Clippers case, why would you give up Blake for Melo? That doesn't help you at all.
No, it won't happen.
That doesn't. And Blake's had 2 ACL injuries. That's huge.
But this is the
and
issue.
the Knicks figure, okay, we give him a chance to get healthy again.
But this is the issue.
It doesn't make sense for any of them.
This goes back to what Carmelo is, and we've seen it how many times. You remember when the Knicks went to go play the games in London, and Carmelo did not travel over there, and he did not go play. But yet he was able to go play in the All-Star game, no problem to go play with his buddies over there in February during the break. But that's not a problem. This is all the stuff built up over the years, all the losing, all the not making of the playoffs, when he came to New York, how he was not able to play with Amari. Forget about Amari not even being able to be healthy at the time, okay? Carmelo's inability to win, okay? That's the most important thing, especially in New York, all right? Even the Mets are held to higher standards at times. Think about it. The New York Mets are held.
But if you're looking at it now, no team is winning a title without 2 or 3 superstars. Melo hasn't had that.
Playoffs. Forget the title. Playoffs. 1 round in the playoffs. Okay? Come on, it's the same problem that people had with Tracy McGrady and Yao Ming. They didn't win anything. They didn't get past that round, and yet everyone remembers them as gods. They were not gods, okay? Everyone rips apart LeBron all the time. This is how amazing LeBron is. LeBron is going to the finals again, and it's going to be, 6 straight years? Incredible. The Knicks, have they even been to 6 finals in general? Has Melo even played in 6 playoff series with the Knicks? No, he's played in, 3, I think?
Yeah.
The 1 first-round bounce, and then they went 2 rounds. The other time around, and they haven't done anything since. That's incredible, but that's the standard you have to hold Carmelo to if he's in the same draft class as those guys. Even Dwayne Wade, when he had his poor teams too, he still dragged them on his back. Has Carmelo ever done that? No, but that's also the problem that I have with him. If he's getting paid that money, and he wants to win that badly, and he's having these problems, and he's butting heads with Phil Jackson, who is just as big of a problem as Carmelo
I think Phil Jackson's a bigger problem than Carmelo Anthony
is. Yeah, you could say he's a bigger problem, but you know what? If I was Phil Jackson, Jackson, they should have traded him a while ago, and I've said this before too.
His
he
stock was higher a while ago.
He should have been traded the year when they were
when Phil first came in.
Mm-hmm.
That's when his stock first came in.
He should have been traded right there, right before the All-Star break. Trade him high. That's gonna even get a better return value than Carmelo when he's about to be a free agent, opposed to 3 years left on this deal with that contract
Phil's
money.
been nothing but a cancer for the Knicks.
Nothing he's done.
He doesn't travel to away games. He talks about the Lakers still. What? You have no business with the Lakers anymore.
Wasn't it? Yeah,
Nothing
he's
about
not,
the Lakers
he's not
matters.
even dating Jeannie Buss anymore.
Nothing
so
about the
it's
Lakers
irrelevant.
matters anymore. You don't come to away games. You make up rumors about this and that, and then the media grabs onto it.
Wasn't it one of his butt buddies that even made up the rumor about how Carmelo's being disgruntled and all this stuff with all the media and all the crap going on out there?
All you have to do is say one thing. New York media eats it up, and then boom, all of a sudden Melo wants to get traded before he even said he wanted to get traded.
Well,
I mean,
it's also Phil Jackson's fault for letting Carmelo get a no trade clause. Carmelo is not that good, or never has been that good, where he deserves a no trade clause. And first of all, shame on Carmelo for saying no. Only Cavs or Clippers. Or what? Or are you going to stay in New York? Honestly, come on, man. Open up your horizons. I mean, there's like a team in Orlando who might give it a shot. You never know that. Like, somewhere else. This guy only wants to go play with his boy Chris Paul, or he wants to go play with his boy LeBron.
He's looking where he thinks he has the best chance to win.
Yeah, but do they... Yeah, okay.
Who else
the Cavs are going to be at the top of the list for any guy.
Who else? Okay, but who else has a chance to win? Golden State, okay, they don't need any more players.
San Antonio,
Melo and Kawhi, that doesn't even make any sense. And LaMarcus Aldridge, he's not playing the 4.
What are you talking about? You could put Carmelo at the 4 and LaMarcus go play as a 5 because Pau Gasol just got hurt.
I almost called Greg Popovich Phil Jackson. Greg Popovich wants nothing to do with Carmelo Anthony in my mind because that doesn't aid them in any way.
Melo put himself in that situation that nobody wants him. This is built up over the course of his career. Forget about the George Karl crap when he was over in Denver and he's disgruntled over there and how he wants to go play in New York.
That's terrible. He's another one, George Karl.
That's
man.
It's a completely separate story. But Carmelo is a huge problem in himself. People would take him if he just wouldn't shut up. I mean, even the Bulls gave 2 years to Rondo. I know they regretted it immediately.
Right.
But still, teams will take a chance on you if you just shut up and you don't have problems over the course of time. He's created so many problems. I don't care what the media says. He handles the media well. He gets a lot of crap from the media, and he answers every question in a great manner. I'll say that much about him.
But does he really bring that much stuff on him? I mean, the biggest thing you hold against him is being a scorer first. Nobody held it against Kobe because Kobe won, and that's maybe okay, and that's the difference. And if that's the difference, but
I'm different though. I think
Melo's
about Kobe
averaged 4 assists a game for the last 3 years.
I think Kobe never got as much crap as he deserved. It took
he
Kobe.
Deserved way more.
Kobe won the first 3 championships because of Shaq.
Because of Shaq.
I don't care how great Kobe played in those finals. Kobe is not there at all. He didn't win anything in that time frame where he said he wanted to get traded out of L.A. He's throwing all those fits. Everyone forgets about that. They're lucky they fleeced the Grizzlies when they did. Regardless if Marc Gasol became a better player than most people thought he would.
Yeah.
At the time, when they traded Kwame Brown and the rights to Marc Gasol for Pau Gasol, when Pau Gasol was in his prime, okay, and Kobe had Lamar Odom on that team and all that other crap, okay, he lucked out. He got lucky there, not even to mention all the other stuff about the KG injury and all that stuff. Kobe was not a cancer to the locker room, but he stunts a lot of his teammates, and he stunted the Lakers last year, and that was a fact. Same problems that he had with D'Angelo Russell and all that other stuff.
You've seen videos of him doing it in practice with guys, but because he has an MJ attitude,
because he wanted to be MJ,
right?
But it's also like, if you think about it, just one last thing with his last game with the Lakers when he scored the 60 points. How many shots did he put up? People just look at the final number with the amount of points he scored. But look at how he played. He actually played horrible. That was just annoying. He just kept chucking up all those shots.
Yeah,
Melo could have done the same thing.
Utah let him do it, you know? Listen, back to Melo. I think a huge part of this reason why, especially as a Knicks fan, you're getting... I guess you could say mixed emotions is when Melo came to New York, it was almost, the whole homecoming thing, whatever. But even aside from that, it was like, okay, there's a superstar or an all-star or whatever however you will.
It's the best player they've had in this century.
Yeah, back on our team. Okay, he's, prime of his career. And then it just never worked out. And there's always something in our minds that, hey, Melo came back. Melo wanted to be here. Yeah, the money thing, but he wanted to be here. He's from New York. He does want to be here. Not just because of the money. He wanted to be in New York regardless, and he still wants to be in New York.
It doesn't matter if he still wants to be here.
And that's what people are holding on to.
I get that.
Why believing Melo's averaged 4 assists a game for the last 3 years.
That's not the point. The point is he wants to be here, but is he helping or hurting the franchise? He's hurting it. David Wright wants to stay a Met. David Wright is getting paid how much money? How much would the Mets benefit if David Wright retired today? They save $20-something million from him. They go out and get a couple relievers. The franchise is just in better shape over the course of time. Carmelo leaves now. The Knicks get an even better draft pick because, look, the Knicks are going to lose more games once Melo leaves. Say what it is. Say whatever you want about Melo not being able to carry a team or not. He still makes them better at the end of the day. Melo leaves, you lose more games, you get a chance at a better prospect, right? And there's a ton of guards loaded in this draft. You get a guard to pair with Porzingis over the next 10 to 15 years, right? Okay? And then whatever you can bring back in that trade is whatever you can bring back. It's a fresh start. It's a new start. And you got to get rid of Phil Jackson. That's a whole other thing. But the best case scenario here, it's obvious, and everyone knows it, considering the no trade clause. It's L.A. or he stays the other 3 years. That's what it is at this point, and that's the way I see it, and I think that's the way it might go.
Yeah, and because it has to be the way it's going to go. You know, eventually, are the Clippers going to cave in and maybe make a deal? That's the only
Their
thing
window's closing.
That it could be, yeah.
Chris Paul's a free agent next year.
Yeah.
You don't know where he'll go.
Chris Paul, you know, and Melo wasn't the conversation, but Chris Paul, the greatest player to not win a ring, top 5. He hasn't won a ring yet.
Charles, Patrick Ewing.
Yeah, there's others, but... And, you know, Durant will get his, of course, because if not, Durant is up there.
He'll definitely get his.
The thing with the Knicks, like you said, there's 2 choices. It's he stays or he goes. If he's going to stay, he ain't staying with Phil, because that will not last
One of the two
3
have
more
to go.
years.
It's not going to.
And I guarantee you...
I bet you it doesn't even go past this season.
No, probably not. But you know what? If Phil left, which I can guarantee 95% of Knicks fans wouldn't bat an eyelash. It wouldn't hurt them in the least bit, because if Phil left, stuff gets repaired with Melo. Yeah, he's not going to put up the numbers. Yeah, he's not going to be as good, but stuff's repaired, locker room wise, is okay. Because at the end of the day, to be completely honest with you, yeah, you need a guard for Porzingis. Porzingis is not a number 1 scoring option, not yet, and I don't know if he ever actually will be.
I don't think he will actually,
which is a big reason. If the Knicks wanted to trade Melo and Melo wanted to go with the trade, then hey, that's what we got to do.
It's hard. It's hard for a big man to do that.
It is. You know, that's why when you find guys like Tim Duncan in their prime and any big men, Shaq, and you know the list goes on. Obviously, for big men, it's not a big man dominant league scoring wise. It's a guard scoring league. You know, and if the Knicks were to make the trade with the Clippers, yeah, it'd probably have to be for Blake, or it'd be for those, you know, the 2 of those 3 combo guards, whatever it might be. If that's the case, the Knicks have a lot bigger things to worry about other than Melo, to be honest, because Rose wants $150 million. He's played well. He's played really well, but not $150 million well. The only thing that would benefit the Knicks would be if you can trade Melo, you get a piece back. Say the piece is Blake Griffin, hypothetically. Now you have Blake and Kristaps, right?
Best case scenario.
Then you said, yeah, well, of course. And then you said to Rose, hey, we just brought Blake Griffin in. We just gave you a superstar. It's either you take a pay cut, because I don't think the Knicks would mind re-signing Rose.
Blake's also going to be a free agent.
Right. Well, I don't think the Knicks would mind re-signing Rose with how he's played, but not for what he wants. But hey, you take a pay cut, we can go get you another scoring guard. Or you walk. And would he probably walk? Yeah, because he'll take his chances and get 150. Is anyone going to give it to him? Probably not. He's going to have to settle somewhere.
They're a joke. It starts at the top. It's the same thing. Dolan doesn't know what he's doing.
No, and Dolan should have been gone 10 years ago.
He doesn't know who he's hiring. He hired Phil Jackson because he's a sexy name. He didn't even hire Phil Jackson to coach. He hired Phil Jackson to run the team. He's paying him $15 million a year. 4 years, $60 million. That is an insane amount of money. To do nothing. He didn't get anything right. The only thing he got right was the Porzingis thing. The only thing he got right. And even then, that was a lucky hit. That was a lucky hit.
He's done next to nothing for the New York Knicks. He's done next to nothing for the New York Knicks fans. He's been nothing but a cancer. Phil Jackson needs to go. And yeah, you could argue Melo needs to go, but if Phil Jackson goes before Melo, I guarantee you it's a different outlook on Melo.
You clean house when you do this stuff. You got to get rid of everything negative. Only keep the unicorn, and that's it. Okay? And we'll settle it. We'll end it there because we're hitting 20 minutes right now. Should have done this in the studio.
Joakim Noah, what? What? Just what? What are you? Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
He's shot. What do you expect?
28 minutes, 0 for 3 from the field, and 7 rebounds. Nice. Good job.
These are the Knicks.
Nice job.
These are the Knicks. These
Sweet.
have been the Knicks your whole life.
Great.
And it's going to be that way for another few years. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, used to it by now.
Hey, don't worry about it. Okay, anyways, you could follow us on Twitter, Martino Rosario, Matty Ice, 42. Well, there's an underscore in there somewhere. Whatever, I'm sure you can find us there. We'll put it in the description. Thanks for listening to this. It's worth a listen over 20 minutes that it was. Obviously, we'll see what transpires over the next couple of weeks. Obviously, trade deadline's right around a little bit after the All-Star break, so we'll see what happens. Gut move real last second. Melo stays or goes?
I hope he stays, but likely goes.
I'm thinking Melo. I think Melo goes.
It'll just get to be too much.
I think Doc Rivers is eventually going to pull a move. I think they're going to send over some protected draft picks to the Knicks eventually.
One person can also only take so much of stuff.
And there might be a 3-team trade in there to help facilitate
that's the other thing. Who are they going to look for a third team?
You never know. Maybe someone wants a Jamal Crawford off their bench or something like that, and willing to throw in a playoff team that wants to throw in a second-round pick. You never know.
Something.
It could be a team like that.
It'll get interesting.
Yeah, so that'll wrap it up for us. We'll see you guys next time here. Check you later.